On this week's Wire to Wire, the best horse in the East dominated the Woodward Handicap. Also at Belmont, a stunner in the Gazelle. Out west, Julian Peval went head-to-head. Plus, quarter horse racing from Texas. And away we go.
Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, presented by Citgo.
Summer break at Saratoga is over, and now the curriculum is underway at Belmont Park's Fall Championship meet. Just last weekend alone at Belmont, 4 Grade 1 stakes races. Thanks for joining us, Jeff Metters, again, away on assignment. 2 weeks ago, we brought you Candy Ride, winning the Pacific Classic and showing he was the best horse in the West. Saturday, we got a chance to see the best horse in the East. In the 1 1/8 Woodward Handicap, Mine Shaft, the 1-5 favorite under Robbie Alvarado. Here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Northern Rock bobbled coming out of there. Perfect beginning for Mine Shaft, but Robbie Alvarado in no hurry with him. Thompson Rouge is there, and on the far outside, Hold That Tiger. Hold That Tiger, Thompson Rouge, and Northern Rock in a line. And a reserve. Mine Shaft is just galloping along in the early stages here. He's 4th as the late running Puzzlement lays in wait in the first few furlongs here. Continuing their run up the backstretch. The opening quarter in 23 4/5 seconds. The pace is sensible with 3 long shots up there. Northern Rock, Thompson Rouge, and on the far outside is Hold That Tiger reserved in 3rd, as Mine Shaft, heavily favored here, just continues to lope along in relatively close contact to this moderate pace set down the backstretch run. Puzzlement is about 7 lengths from the opening half mile here that was run in 47 2/5 seconds. Well within the range of these Grade 1 runners as they round the far turn, and it's Northern Rock 3/4 of a length. Thompson Rouge, Hold That Tiger. Mine Shaft still looms just in behind the lead, unhurried 4th with 3.5 furlongs to go here. Farther back, Puzzlement now being asked to pick it up. Around the far turn, Thompson Rouge checks out. It's now Northern Rock, short lead. And now Mine Shaft has been given his cue, and here he comes on the far outside, up after the leaders. Hold That Tiger's in between horses now. So it's Hold That Tiger in narrow lead. Mine Shaft is just cruising up to him on the outside, and those two come off the turn together. Northern Rock could not stay with them. Farther back, it's Puzzlement, and at the top of the lane, it is Mine Shaft. Mine Shaft just shaken up there just a bit by Robbie Alvarado. He is responding. Mine Shaft opens up by 3.5 lengths. Hold That Tiger will hold for 2nd, and Mine Shaft, the beat goes on for him. A potential champion in the making here. He wins by 5 easy lengths.
Indeed, it looks so easy, yet Mine Shaft ran 146.21, the 3rd fastest mile in an 8th in Woodward history. His buyer speed figure, 118. Look at it, and that's carrying 126 pounds, the same weight he'll carry in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Hold That Tiger, an overmatched 2nd. Puzzlement, a distant 3rd. Think ahead to the Breeders' Cup Classic. If all goes well at Santa Anita, Mine Shaft, Candy Ride, Medallia d'Oro, Congaree, Moon Ballad, Baby Vol Pony, whatever else the Europeans can muster. Here's another look at Mine Shaft, rating several lengths behind the pace setters, again showing that devastating combination of a high cruising speed and a willingness to rate off the pace if necessary. But because of the strength of this year's competition, this win doesn't make Mine Shaft, of course, an automatic winner of the Classic. For one thing, he'll have to make that transition out to Southern California from New York. But before that, trainer Neil Howard is planning on giving Mine Shaft one more start in Belmont's Jockey Club Gold Cup September the 27th. Also the apparent next start for 3-year-old Empire Maker. But after watching the Woodward, watching this performance, you can't blame trainer Bobby Frankel if he begins looking elsewhere for Empire Maker's Breeders' Cup Classic prep. Another cakewalk for Mine Shaft. First the Suburban easily, and now the Woodward. Congratulations to Gregory Vaughn, the Week 3 winner of DigiTurf. That's our Pick 6 challenge on ESPN.com. Just go there, click on Horse Racing, Week 4, play for $600, and you don't have to put up a nickel. Here is just a taste of the coming attractions on Wire to Wire, including in 3 minutes a look at that Saturday match race that had Del Mar a buzz. Stay with us.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's. Boatloads of seafood are back. Citgo, we know you. The American Quarter Horse Association. Let freedom ride.
The topic of conversation last weekend at Del Mar wasn't the Del Mar Derby or the Palomar Handicap or those boatloads of seafood. It was a match race between two 40-year-old jockeys whose comebacks have been inspiring. And Pat Valenzuela and Julie Crone also happen to be the two leading jockeys at Del Mar. They hooked up Sunday in what the track called the Battle of the Sexes match race. And what a match race it was. Crone and Valenzuela went at it head and head from the bell, set torrid fractions. In the stretch, Crone opens up aboard Woke Up Dreaming. It looks like she's home free. Pat Valenzuela looks dead in the water on Chester's Choice. If they look like they're staggering, they are. Both horses are exhausted, but somehow Chester's Choice gets up at the wire to put his nose in front. And elated Valenzuela was actually substituting for Gary Stevens, whose injuries in the Arlington Million were expected to keep him out for a month. Stevens actually made it back to the races Friday ahead of schedule, but this matchup between P. Val and Julie Crone turned out to be apropos because they are in a jockey battle. Now, as we tape this Tuesday morning, those are the standings with only Wednesday's closing day card at Del Mar left, 51-47. Crone rides in 9 of the 10 races Wednesday. Valenzuela has 8 mounts. Valenzuela and Crone might have finished a nose apart in that match race, but that certainly wasn't the case with this week's Baby Talk subject. His name is Estevan, and on August the 16th at Woodbine, Estevan won this 6-furlong maiden race by, and this is no typo, 24 1/4 lengths. He's almost out of the picture. Estevan is son of the Hot Young Sire Grand Slam, a half-brother to Transylvania winner Field Cat. He actually lost his first race at 3-5 odds. In this, Estevan earned a buyer figure of 91 that could have been higher, trained by Josie Carroll. Which brings us now to our quarter horse segment, the first of our 2 speed segments, and we will start it at Los Alamitos in suburban Los Angeles for the 870-yard Bull Rastus Handicap. And in the Bull Rastus, the favorite at even money was Harbor Beach, and jockey Alex Bautista, Harbor Beach, laying a claim to becoming one of the best 870 horses in America.
And it's available credit to Ramon Sanchez, a length and a quarter in front, but Harbor Beach is now coming on gamely in second. And look at Johnny Be Good. He's absolutely rolling from behind. Johnny Be Good's all the way up to third and just 4 lengths off of these 2 quarter horses. They make the way on past the 8th pole. Available credit in Harbor Beach. Johnny Be Good continues to come on gamely down along the inside, but he's going to run out of ground as Harbor Beach is now full of run, and Harbor Beach coming home the most impressive of winners.
Harbor Beach began his career 0 for 10. Then he found 870 races. Since then, he's 6 for 9, including 5 straight at Los Al, and he's bred for the hook races, as they call them. He gets the quarter horse speed from the sire First Down Dash, and is damn a thoroughbred in the curl. Won almost $750,000 sprinting in Maryland in the late 80s and the early 90s. Also Friday at Los Al, 2 trials for the Professionals Choice California Claiming Challenge. The first trial was the fastest. It was won by number 2, Pal's Eyes.
And away they go. The one who came away the best, Pal's Eyes, with WCR Ruby's fame. Also right there, Toll Bar, local additions now coming up on the outside, but Pal's Eyes had his mind on running tonight. He behaved himself well in the gate. Local additions now closing in fast on the outside, but it's going to be Pal's Eyes to prevail over a flying local addition.
As Ed Burgard insinuated, Pal's Eyes has had trouble in the gate in the past. None of that evident Friday. 350 yards in 17.645 seconds. Trainer Connie Hall didn't win this, but she did qualify 4 horses for the final of the Professionals Choice California Claiming Challenge, which takes place on September 19th. 2 more trials Saturday at Los Al for the Bayer Legend California Challenge. Watch the outside. 6-5 favorite, I Ought to Be First. And 8-1, a special snow flow.
And away they go. I Ought to Be First got bumped coming out of the gate. That's not going to help. I Ought to Be First. His Daily Dash is now full of run down along the inside. Loves that goal to the extreme outside is a special snowflow, and even Sia Dash, I Ought to Be First, well beaten tonight. Loves that goal to the extreme outside is a special snowflow, and now it's a special snowflow full of run. Goes on to beat Loves That Goal. Sia Dash is third.
Special snowflow under jockey Sam Thompson, the fastest qualifier, 19.80. But Gelding, also trained by Donna MacArthur and ridden by Thompson. Fortune First won the second trial in 1983. Might have even been even more impressive. He was being geared down at the finish. Paul Jones saddled 7 starters in the trials, qualified 5 for the Bayer Legend California Challenge final, September 20th. Now it's time to pay some bills. But on the other side, we'll look ahead at this weekend, and we will look back at Sam Houston Race Park.
One minute to post.
We are back, but Funny Side isn't. Not yet, anyway. And if he does run again this year, it could be on the grass. At least that's what Barkley Tagg, his trainer, told Daily Racing Form recently. The Breeders' Cup Mile might be his target. But Funny Side has still not resumed serious training. The last horse to race on grass after winning the Kentucky Derby, 1993 Derby winner Seed Hero. The numbers way up Monday at the first session of the Keeneland September yearling sale. This was the Monday topper, a full brother to Hollywood Derby winner Brahms, a Danzig colt out of champion mare Queena, bought for $3.6 million by Coolmore's Michael Tabor and John Magner. The lucky seller, King Ranch heiress Emery Hamilton. While the Coolmore boys had their checkbooks out, they also bought this half-sister to Favorite Trick, Unbridled Evil, for $2.4 million in all. They spent $10.5 million on Monday alone. You think Keeneland gives those Coolmore guys a free parking spot? I would think so. The sale continues through September 20th. And on a sad note, trainer Harold Rose died Monday at his North Miami home. Rose was best known for winning the 2000 Florida Derby with his homebred colt, Howell's Hope. Rose bought his first horse in 1951. Harold Rose was 92 years old. Belmont Park will again be front and center this weekend, and our Great Stakes segment will reflect that as we look ahead first to a couple of big races on Sunday for the 2-year-olds. First, the Colts going in the Futurity. And Cuvée, the horse who splashed home an easy winner of the Saratoga Special for his trainer Steve Asmussen, will be back. And boy, Cuvée looks like he could be something special. But in the Futurity, he'll hook up with Value Plus, the horse we brought you on Baby Watch earlier. Value Plus, an 8 3/4 length winner of his maiden race at Saratoga. He is trained by Todd Fletcher, both earning big speed figures. And in the Matron for fillies, run just before the Futurity, Whoopie Cat, trained by Patrick Biancone, is 2 for 2, including this win in the Adirondack. She could possibly face Feline Story, trained by Stanley Huff, who has won 3 for 4 in her career, including that win in the sorority at Monmouth in her most recent start. Then the Ruffian, Grade 1 for fillies and mares, mile and an eighth Saturday. Sightseek could be Azari's toughest competition in the Distaff division, trained by Bobby Frankel. Look at Jerry Bailey looking back at the competition. And in Sunday's Addo Mile at Woodbine, 3-year-old Wando will try older horses on the turf. He'll have to face some tough competition. Neil Drysdale's got Seraphan and Touch the Blues. The Addo Mile Sunday, that's 1 mile. I guess I didn't have to tell you that. Saturday, that's Belmont's lineup. It also includes the Jerome Handicap. Those are our 2 big races on Sunday at Belmont. But we also have the Kentucky Cup coming up on Saturday. And what a matchup the Kentucky Cup Classic promises to be. A dream matchup for Turfway Park. Congaree, the winner of the Hollywood Gold Cup, one of the best older horses in training. Speed to burn. And he will be challenged at Turfway Park by Perfect Drift. He ran poorly on the turf in the Arlington Million, but before that, he beat Mineshaft. He beat Mineshaft at Churchill Downs in the Stephen Foster, and he also easily won this race, the Washington Park Handicap. What a matchup. Congaree versus Perfect Drift. Saturday, the Kentucky Cup Classic, $350,000. The Turfway Breeders' Cup, also on the Kentucky Cup schedule, will feature Awesome Humor, finishing second there in the Alabama behind Island Fashion. There is your complete Kentucky Cup lineup. Classic Juvenile Sprint Breeders' Cup. Kentucky Cup Juvenile Fillies, as you can see, it's loosely patterned after the Breeders' Cup races. That will take place again on Saturday at Turfway Park. Coming up on the road to the World Thoroughbred Championships, we have a busy schedule. On Sunday, we'll bring you those races, the Futurity and the Matron for 2-year-olds at Belmont. 2 weeks after that, we go to Santa Anita. And then on October the 5th, we are once again at the Oak Tree meeting as we wind our way toward the road to the World Thoroughbred Championships. A big closing weekend for Sam Houston Park's Quarter Horse Meet. On Thursday, the announcement made that they will host the MBNA Challenge Championships in 2004. Friday, the fans there said goodbye to a champion. And on Saturday, 2 major quarter horse stakes races. And we'll begin with a Grade 1, $300,000 Sam Houston Futurity at 400 yards, where a key scratch left the favorite in this race as Jack Z. Quick, who also happened to be the fastest qualifier. Sam Houston Futurity. Here it comes.
They are off in the Sam Houston Futurity. Snow Me the Money came away very nicely in the center of the racetrack. Also right up into it down at the inside is Gift in Cash. Toast the Effort is making a big run on the far outside. In the center of the racetrack, oncoming is Jack Z. Quick. Jack Z. Quick on the outside. Toast the Effort. Snow Me the Money. Jack Z. Quick.
And Jack Z. Quick held his form to get his first stakes win, ridden by Nicky Laws. All sorts of trouble at the start, but he overcame it, finishing a length and a half clear. The undefeated No Fees had to be scratched from this race due to a bone fracture he suffered in his trial win. Jack C. Quick will now head to Lone Star Park and try to qualify for the Dash for Cash Futurity. An hour earlier, the Sam Houston Derby at 4:40 featured a 3-horse entry from trainer John Buchanan. But watch out for the impeccably bred number 3, First in Cool.
They are off in the Sam Houston Derby. Snow Warning came away very nicely. Also quickly into it his first place win. Moving well in the center of the racetrack, First and Cool. Prime Talent is now a factor also on the center of the racetrack. Up on the outside is a Morley Hero. Coming on late though is Prime Talent. Prime Talent, First and Cool. On the outside also closing is Red Dog Leader. First and Cool.
First and Cool at odds of almost 10-1, ridden by Gilbert Ortiz, the son of First Down Dash, the first foal from mare Cool Q Baby, whose remarkable racing career included 25 stakes victories. Ortiz won 23 races on Cool Q Baby. Cool Q Baby was 11 from 14 at Sam Houston. Now it appears her firstborn has inherited that affinity. Taylor Fitt was officially sent into retirement on Friday at Sam Houston. He was a 2-time world champion. The 8-year-old gelding won $1.3 million in his career, number 12 all-time among quarter horses, and number 2 among horses that didn't win, the All-American Futurity. He's owned by Betty Jane Berland of Navasota, Texas, and he will live out his retirement in a pasture at the farm of trainer Janet Van Bever and their Janet's daughter. His farewell gift, a basket of carrots, apples, and peppermints. What more could a champion racehorse ask for? For more information on American quarter horse racing, call the toll-free number, 1-800-414-RIDE. Coming up next on Wire to Wire, stay with us for Final Furlongs. A look back at some of those other Grade 1 races at Belmont Park last weekend.
Champions Tour continues on ESPN. This time we move to Baltimore to the Hayfields Country Club as the players fight hole by hole for the Constellation Energy Classic. First round Saturday on ESPN.
On our next show, we'll have an update on Euro 2004 qualifying. Join Tommy Smith, Eddie Mighton, and me on the next Press Pass.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's. Boatloads of seafood are back. Citgo, we know you. NTRA.com, the official site of the NTRA and the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
This just in, late-breaking news. Next week's first airing of Wire to Wire has been moved to Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern due to Little League Baseball. Just kidding about the baseball part, at least. That's an inside joke. But the re-air will stay the same. That's Saturday morning for you insomniacs at 5:30 a.m. Meanwhile, keep those cards and letters coming. Actually, not hard copies. We need email at that address. The more intelligent emails we will try to answer, and as always, photographs are encouraged. The Woodward Handicap was our race of the week, won by Mineshaft, which you have already seen, but that wasn't even close to all the top action at Belmont Park this past week. 4 Grade 1 races Saturday and Sunday. The other 3 we will now delve into as part of Final Furlongs, beginning with the $500,000 mile and 3/8 Man of War, which included 7 of 5 favorite Denant, coming off a 4th place finish in the Sword Dancer. The 3 horses who beat him in the Sword Dancer, Whitmore's Con, McCaw, and Slough Valley, were also in this field. But in the end, the 2 longest shots on the board prevailed.
Lunar Sovereign is swept by to take the lead. Balto Star is second. Denam on the outside, followed by Slough Valley. Carpenetto nothing left. Delightful Irving far outside. All chasing Richard Migliori and Lunar Sovereign, who will streak under the line. Big winners here. Lunar Sovereign by 3 emphatic lengths.
Lunar Sovereign bounced back from his poor Sword Dancer. He's now 4 for 4 at Belmont, yet he was still 10-1 for his first stakes victory. Slough Valley was 17-1. Lunar Sovereign ridden there by Richie Migliori, owned by the Darley stable, trained by Kieran McLaughlin, who got his first Grade 1 winner. Just last week, he announced that he is now opening a public stable he previously had trained exclusively for the Dubai Shakes. After her brilliant victory in the chess stakes at 7 furlongs, Lady Tack was sent away at odds-on in the Gazelle handicap at a one-turn mile and an eighth. She was pulling hard early, but turning into the lane, Jerry Bailey let her run, and she looked unbeatable. She wasn't.
There's 1 furlong to go. Lady Tack's got a 3-length lead. Spoken Fur is coming at her with a determined run from second. By the Sport on the outside third. Down to the finish. Lady Tack trying to get it out. Here comes the English filly. By the Sport. Here's the wire.
The English filly at 48-1. By the Sport in her first U.S. start. She was at high odds because her English form was just average, but she's bred for the dirt. A New York bred by Devil's Bag, and Georgica stable owner Peter Menicke's bought her with the dirt in mind. Yet even he said, I can't believe she could beat these horses. The winning jockey, Pat Day, By the Sport will now stay in the U.S. with trainer Bobby Barbera. On Sunday, the Garden City Breeders' Cup Handicap. 3-year-old fillies, a mile and an eighth. American Oaks winner. Dimitrova, the odds-on favorite. But again, from the back of the pack, here came Pat Day on another long shot.
And they're coming down to the finish now. Here comes Indy 500, charging hard. Dimitrova find her hold her off and not going to do it. It's going to be Indy 500 to win by 4 on the wire.
And not just a long shot from the same stable, owned by Georgica Stable, trained by Bobby Barbera, ridden by Day. She paid only $17.80 for her first stakes win, and Indy 500 has raced her whole career in the U.S. Peter Menicke's and his father Michael bought her as a yearling. Peter said it was the best weekend of his life. First By the Sport, and then Indy 500. Indy 500, a prospect for the Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. On Sunday at Del Mar, a 5-horse field in the Palomar Breeders' Cup Handicap for fillies and mares. Alex Solis set the pace, and he's still in front on Spring Star. Let's pick up the call with Trevor Dennis.
They come to the 16th at Spring Star and Magic Mission. Garden in the rain along the inside. Spring Star, Magic Mission, Garden in the rain. Spring Star holding on. Spring Star wins it the next.
Spring Star gamely holding on wire to wire at a mile and a 16th, giving the Wertheimer farm and trainer Richard Mandela another big win at Del Mar. They also raced the outstanding Del Mar debutante winner, Half Bridle. There was an inquiry as to whether the runner-up in this race, Magic Mission, got hit in the face with the whip. Stewart said she didn't. Saturday's Del Mar Derby on the grass, Senor Swinger got a chance to redeem himself. He was the 9-5 favorite. He's the gray on the outside. You can see him in the back of the picture, but as you can see, Senor Swinger on the far outside there is in big trouble.
Fairly Ransom in the pink, even Sweet Return getting involved late. They come for home. Fairly Ransom, Devious Boy, Sweet Return late, but it'll be Fairly Ransom to win.
Trainer Ron McAnally bought Candy Ride with the Pacific Classic in mind, and he got Fairly Ransom thinking about the Del Mar Derby ever since he brought him over from France about 4 months ago. And again, Alex Solis in the saddle, this time guiding Fairly Ransom to victory. The biggest winner to date for owner Arnold Zetcher, who's becoming one of McAnally's biggest clients. Senor Swinger finished 4th. Finally, in the 6-furlong Endine at Delaware Park, a handicap. 3-year-old filly House Party not only beat older horses, she's the gray there, she tied the track record. 6 furlongs, 108.35. Jose Santos said if he'd known she would tie the record, he would have asked her a little bit, and then she would have broken it. A New York shipper owned by Jerry Shields and trained by Alan Jerkins, who continues to roll up the victories. This was House Party's 5th stakes win. A reminder, you can join us on Sunday as we continue down that road to the World Thoroughbred Championships powered by Dodge for the Matron Stakes and the Futurity Stakes, both from Belmont Park, both for 2-year-olds. Jeff Fetters will be out there. I'll be there. So will Janine Edwards, and you can tune in at 3:30 Eastern on Sunday. That's ESPN 2. Lunar Sovereign, the winner of the Man of War under Richie Migliori, showing himself as a contender for the Breeders' Cup Turf. And then, of course, Mineshaft, winning the Woodward. Mineshaft on the east, Candy Ride on the west. Thanks for joining us.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.